affairs, because I think that's concerning global affairs. I have heard the issue of proxy marriage that you brought up. Because of the conservative government banning it, now people have to put themselves in danger to go to a country to get married while physically present in order to fulfill the requirement, but then that puts them in danger, and it's quite a concern, and this is the second time I've heard it from the community, and I've been given feedback on this in terms of a possible change, so I'm looking at that now. Refugee spouses, I wasn't clear on that. When refugees are accepted into Canada, they have a 1-year window to sponsor their family, and they have to move within that year. If they don't do that, then they have to wait till they become PR and then sponsor them through the regular family sponsorship.
If I just made
Yes.
a comment, these people that were sponsored by the government,
Yes.
but they got married prior to their boarding the plane and coming in.
Mm-hmm.
And then they said, well, I'm married. The government said, sorry, you can't bring your spouse because they were not examined.
I think the idea is that they expect the applicant to state all of their family members on the application.
Well, yes, you have to
And they
include
didn't
all
do
your
that.
family members, and if you didn't, then they're not
Well, no,
considered.
I agree if they were married before they applied.
Yes.
But they got married just prior to their coming in. The application has already been submitted, and they give them a very short time. You know, the UNHCR column says, you're coming tomorrow for a flight in Beirut. And then when they come to Canada and Montreal, they said, well, I got a spouse. They said, oh, you didn't declare it before, so you can't bring them.
Okay, I'll take that into consideration. Let me deal with the Pakistan immigration issue, but before I do that, I'll pass it over to my colleague Omar Agabra for the travel advisory question.
Sure, and because I'm Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of Foreign Affairs, this is a foreign affairs issue, and I've been discussing this issue with the Department of Foreign Affairs and my colleagues, including my colleague Ikra Khalid and other MPs who have been raising this concern on behalf of their constituents. Look, the decisions to make travel advisories should not be political. We rely on the advice of our experts, of national security experts, of travel experts, and what I can assure you that decision is reviewed on a regular basis. But when the advice comes from our experts, who are apolitical, that we need to have these travel advisories, our responsibility as a government is to our Canadians, and we have to follow that advice. However, these decisions are reviewed on a regular basis.
On the issue of the processing time for Pakistan, it is a concern because there was a decision made to move the processing time based on this advice out of Islamabad. So now the spousal applications from Pakistan and Afghanistan are processed through London, UK, and the temporary visas are processed through Abu Dhabi, UAE. I have had the opportunity of observing and monitoring the processing time for Pakistani nationals and Afghani nationals for spousal sponsorship through UK. That processing time is within the service standard of 12 months or less. So there has it's not any slower than other populations. But in terms of the temporary resident visas, that is not within the standard average because it's going through UAE, and the Abu Dhabi office, the visa office in Abu Dhabi already processes temporary resident visas for all the Gulf Cooperation Council countries, as well as Afghanistan and Pakistan. And because of the population of Pakistan and the number of applications, once those files were transferred or the responsibility was transferred to Abu Dhabi, there was a slowdown in the processing. But they've now instituted a strategy to triage those different cases and move the processing time up, and they're working on that. So the difference between Abu Dhabi for temporary visas or any other offices, I think about 1 week. So it's not, we're not talking about 100 days like in some of the old visa offices. So, but in terms of spousal, I can assure you, they don't take too long. It's within the same standard as everyone else. For business travelers from Pakistan, if there are concerns around big delegations coming and they're not getting visas, we don't want that. We do want business travelers, we want investors to come to Canada. It's you know, if they're unfairly being turned back, that's actually bad. It's unacceptable for their client service, but it's also against the Canadian national interest, because we want more investors and more business travelers to come to Canada. One of the ways you can help us in that process is to have the people who invited them here, whether it is the business groups in the Pakistani Canadian community or others, to reach out to their member of parliament ahead of time and sensitize us to the fact that there's a large delegation coming, so that we can facilitate the process and make sure that the Department of Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship knows about this and can facilitate it. In fact, immigration has done a lot in terms of facilitating even permanent immigration of companies that want to relocate to Canada. So why would they not do the same thing for visiting delegations? But it's better to have that conversation ahead of the delegation coming, instead of complaining after the fact. After the fact, once it already happens, it's like the event has already happened. It's hard to go back. But if you let us know ahead of time through your members of parliament, we will do a lot to facilitate that. And also the department and the officials will know that these people are coming. They'll have the opportunity to do the due diligence and research the event and contact the people and ease that path. And I can assure you, we do that for all the other countries, and there's no reason why we can't do the same thing for Pakistan. Processing times not reflected on the website. We monitor processing times very, very carefully. I get reports of processing times every 2 weeks, and they do change depending on the volumes. I can tell you, I mean, again, we have a good problem in Canada. So many people want to visit. We've had a 30% jump in the application for student permits, for temporary resident visas, for the major countries that usually form the largest number of people who want to come to Canada, which is usually India and China. But even in our non-traditional markets, in visa offices that normally didn't have a lot of applications, you're seeing a 15% jump, a 20% jump in all the lines of immigration. And so, yes, our processing times have taken a hit, but it's still within the service standard. And I can tell you another thing, and this is actually a message to my colleagues as well. When you're a member of parliament, the people who come to you are not the people whose friends or family members got the visa. The people who go to the MP's office are the ones who didn't get the visa. So as a member of parliament, all you see is the rejections and the rejections and the rejections. And after a while, you start to think that all immigration rejects all the visas. But let me give you a statistic to change your mind about that. 84 to 85% of applicants who apply for a visa to come to Canada are accepted. So you only hear about the 15%. I know that statistic is probably shocking to you, but we do accept most people who apply to come to Canada, whether as students, whether as visitors. And in fact, students is a big one, because we want to have more students coming to Canada. And not only do we want them to come to Canada and study, we want them to stay. And we made changes to make it easier for them to do that, by giving them time credit under Bill C6, by giving them extra points in the express entry system, by being very generous with the postgraduate work permit, by allowing them to work part-time when the school is open. When the school is closed, they're allowed to work full-time. Very few countries do that. So we want, not only do we want more students to come, we want them to stay and become permanent residents and Canadians eventually. The call center, we have, for the first time in immigration, we have a department called Client Service, and we have a Director General of Client Service. This has never been done before, because client service is a priority for us. We want to make sure that people get the answers that they want. And the latest analysis we did with the 1-800 number, when you call now, the agents are able to go into the GCMS system and actually see your case. In the past, they couldn't do that. So because of that, now we're finding that less people are calling, and they're calling less frequently, because the first time that they call, they're getting the answer that they want. So they don't have to call 2-3 times. which means less waiting time for you. So we have actually made some improvements in the 1-800 number, and we have to do more. It was very nice of the young woman to ask me a question about the US, but unfortunately, it's very difficult for me to answer a question about US visas. But I'll leave it at that, and we'll continue